everyone. Hello. Welcome back to Decaf and Devos. I am your host, Adore, and today is the day I've been looking forward to, you guys. Okay, first of all, let me just take everyone back for a second. Last year, like a month ago, maybe 2 months ago at this point, I was really sitting with God and I was like, okay, listen, we just did season 1. I loved season 1. However, I really need help because this is not an easy thing. It's a passion project. I love doing it, but it is so difficult, you guys. There is so much that goes on behind the scenes. Not to say I don't enjoy it. There's just a lot that you guys don't see. So then my friend Ebony comes over one day right after I move in, and she's like, hey, I don't know if this is like, maybe this is God, maybe not, but would you like want any help with your podcast? Newsflash. She just launched a production company, as I mentioned in last week's episode. And I was like, dude, you have no idea how much of an answered prayer this is. So this is a treat for me, really. But I am so excited to finally announce the face behind the camera, Miss Ebony Hines.
Hi, guys. Hey.
Guys, listen. First of all, you guys know I'm going to end every season with a Q&A, as you guys already know. But Ebony is going to be, because she's going to be watching every episode behind the camera for every shot, she's going to be in the Q&A with me. So you guys will always see this face. And yeah, I'm so excited for them to get to know you, truly.
Oh, I'm excited to be here.
You're one of my favorite people.
You know, behind the camera is like
easier.
My home, you know, but
I get
it's fun to be up here too. So.
Oh, I'm so happy to have you on. So, okay, let's get into some like fire. Actually, before we do that, should we get into your story first?
Sure. What do you want to know?
Actually, no, let's do the rapid fire because that's more like lighthearted.
Okay.
And then we can get into your story.
Into it.
Yeah. So let's let the audience get to know you a bit. I'm just going to do rapid fire, okay? Whatever comes to your mind.
Okay.
First question. How would your friends describe you?
Spontaneous, random, and let's see. That's a good question. Spontaneous, random, and
joyful,
loving. Yeah,
okay,
joyful.
Yes.
Joyful too.
Those are good ones. Okay, what movie can always make you cry without fail?
Selena. I don't know if y'all remember this movie. My gosh, that at the end when she dies.
Wait, the J-Lo version?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I watched that as a kid and it just never left me. So it's one of my comfort shows or sad shows, you know, or movie. Mm-hmm. But
okay, I don't think I knew that.
Always make me cry.
Okay.
Don't watch it, guys. You'll cry.
Good to know.
Seriously.
You'll cry. Well, yeah, her story is sad. Like it ends in a sad way. Okay, if you could move to any city in the world, where would you go?
I would do a city in Italy, like Milan.
Okay.
Or Tuscany.
Okay.
Or something like that.
Should we go to Italy?
I want to.
I do
it's
too.
on my bucket list.
Okay. Favorite food or snack?
I would say... I don't know.
I know.
Okay,
There's so many options in the world.
I will say, let's do favorite candy because that's my go-to.
Okay.
If I can snack, it'll be Smarties, and I get hated on for it.
Wait.
But I love them so much.
I love
Genuinely, it's so good. So.
I honestly forgot about them. I feel like they're kind of slept on.
I'm trying not to be offended.
No, I'm sorry. No, they're so good.
No, it actually is good, and I try to put people on to rekindle their childhood, you know? But it's good. I
definitely a childhood candy for sure. Okay, which family member are you closest to and why?
Oh, my mom.
Oh.
My mom. That's a testimony in and of itself.
Okay.
But my mom. Okay. I love my dad. Shout out to Dad. Like,
give him some love too.
I love you. But my mom. And I think
that.
that's such a beautiful full circle moment for us.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. What is your worst habit?
Oh, worst habit would be procrastination. I
hear you.
Genuinely.
I hear you. That's an out for 2025 is
I'm trying to make it that.
I get it. What is your biggest regret from your 20s so far?
Oh,
I know. It's a heavy hitter.
My biggest regret so far,
if you have one, I know a lot of people don't.
No, I'm pretty sure I have like many regrets. You know, I know everything works together.
Right.
You know,
for our good.
Okay, I do have one.
Okay.
And it's not a bad thing. For whoever's watching, the person maybe.
Okay.
I would say like I wish I would have taken my time when it comes to relationships, like romantic or otherwise. Like in the rush and go of like my 20s, I let certain relationships fall, like friendships and stuff like that. And then I like jumped into relationships romantically, like just head first, you know? So I feel like there's a beauty in like patience. There's a beauty in like the slow learning of a person and being friends first and then dating. So that's something I would tell my 20-something, young 20s. So
I love that. No, that's so good. Because I feel
like there's just so much I could have learned and then also like, you know, benefited from, you know?
This is like such a random tangent, but I really think you're going to be a great mom one day. Like truly, I see you like sitting your daughter down and being like, hey, listen, this is what you're not going to accept in a relationship. And this is what you are. Like, I see that for you.
Thank you so much. I can't wait for the day.
Oh, one day. Dream job.
Okay. I tell everyone this because I don't know if it exists, but Lord, here's my flex. Dream job.
Okay.
It's not, I don't know the title for it, but it would be combining fashion, film, and travel.
Whoa.
A job that encompasses all three because I love all three so much.
I love that. Yeah. Maybe it'll start with you, you know?
I hope.
I love that.
I hope.
Okay, what would people be surprised to know about you?
Okay, that I am sensitive. I don't think that's the surprise, but I can be sensitive and shy.
Okay. Yeah. Very interesting.
People don't believe me when I tell them I'm shy.
No, because you're very outgoing. So I get that. And just very friendly. So I think that's probably why.
I worked on that. I really did. As a child, I didn't talk. So
Ebony, you're so cute. I can imagine like 10-year-old version you.
Oh my
adorable.
Gosh.
Okay, last question. Favorite scripture or favorite book of the Bible? I'll take either.
Okay. Favorite scripture right now is Psalms 25:14.
Okay, let me hear it.
That is the fear of the Lord. It's the translation that I'm getting mixed up, but basically, the best friendship of the Lord. The fear of the Lord leads to the best friendship of the Lord. Like basically, He reveals His secrets to you. Like you know, they go hand in hand, and like that's clear. But I'll also give you a chapter. A chapter, book? Just in case.
Okay. Wait, chapter or book?
Chapter.
Oh,
I mean book. Okay. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. Cut that out.
Okay. Good.
Oh my goodness.
I love you.
Easy one. Favorite book of the Bible is Esther. And that's something I've loved since I was a kid. And she gave me so much inspiration.
You are an Esther. 1,000%. You are.
She is I loved her story. Aww. And even as a kid, I understood it to the, somewhat. So that always, I was like, huh.
Oh, I love that.
So cool. A little young woman could do so much. So
is she like the Bible character that you like related to most?
Yes, okay. At that time.
I love that.
Yes, for sure.
Mine's always been Joseph.
Really? Oh, I love.
So random.
Honestly,
but I love that guy.
Yeah, he's kind of top notch,
right? And like, how many people in the Bible does it refer to as like being handsome? You know, like the fact that he was mentioned to be handsome, you gotta know funny. That he was handsome.
That's good. That's
and
good
a good man of character.
Just saying.
Anyway,
where's your Joseph?
Where's my Joseph? Hello. Anyway,
he's on his way.
He's on his way. Okay. Well, thank you again for coming on. I would love to. I know we've talked about this so many times, but for the people, maybe give like a quick little snapshot of like, where do you come from? What's your story? How'd you get to know the Lord? All the things. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And in like a nutshell.
Yeah.
So I am, my parents are Caribbean, so we are Caribbean at heart, I grew up in Boston, though that's where I'm born and raised. And then we moved to Georgia not too long, or somewhere in my childhood. But, I didn't know the Lord growing up. I did, get to have a relationship with him and kind of understand for that age who he was and stuff like that. And then as I got older, life lessons and everything, college, everything came together to continue deepening my relationship with the Lord. Moved to Las Vegas for a little bit. That helped me when people say like you don't have your parents' faith, it's really true when you go so far away. And so
that's when it gets tested.
Sure. You'll really know what you're made of when it comes to the relationship you have and what you can stand on. And so I feel like even though that might have been like one of the toughest times of my life, like that also was the best time because I got to develop on my own in my relationship with the Lord. And then came back, and then I went to college and studied everything, and then landed on film. Okay. And but when I did not graduate, and that's the thing that I don't say, but I feel like I should say it. Like I literally had 2 semesters left, and it was a struggle. I worked 2 jobs and was going to school full time and was commuting, and it was just hard. And I was like, God, like, come on, please.
Be so for real.
Yeah, make it easy on me a little bit, like, you know what I mean? But truly, when I say, like, that wasn't in his plan at that time, because 2 things. One, I relied so heavily on that being part of my identity, not without knowing it, but that's the truth. Both of my parents have their masters. My mom is just so genius, you know, and then my brother didn't go to college. So I was like, oh, I am expected to be the child to go. So anyways, that was something that came up later. Didn't finish my college because of work and things, but the way that God led my life, all the jobs that led to me working in production and things like that, like, it all came together, and he did that so that only he can get the glory. Because where I am now, it doesn't make any sense. I don't have a degree, but God. So that's me.
Okay, girl. You know we're going to have to unpack that a little bit, because why did I completely forget this part of your story?
Yeah.
That's huge. And I relate to that so much, because I like had to drop out of college at one point because my parents like couldn't afford it, and they had just split, and a lot of financial issues and blah, blah, blah. But like, I remember feeling like, oh my gosh, so much of my identity was in school, because you're in school from like literally the second like 2, 3 when you can go to pre-K, and then all the way through 22 when you graduate. So like, being a 20-year-old and having to drop out was huge for me. So like, how did you, like, did that rock your faith at all? Like, take me through that a little bit.
It did in a way, to be honest, because I was like, I didn't realize I liked school that much, which I didn't, but it was like part of I was like, okay, what do I do now?
Right.
And I did, because I had to trust that God still had a plan for me without this thing. That's where my faith had to really kick in, and like, do I actually believe that he still knows who I am, has a plan, is going to be faithful to fulfill the plan, and me being tucked in that will, you know what I mean? So it was really hard to not do every and anything at that time. I'm like, I'll do whatever, but staying,
not everything's beneficial. Totally.
At all. At all.
Totally.
But yeah, I wasn't perfect. I'd had a million jobs, but finally was able to, like, I believe it all worked together for where I am now. So,
you know what's so interesting about a common thread, I feel like I see in a lot of my most successful godly friends that I have.
What?
There was always a moment of time of just so much uncertainty in their life, or just like a path that wasn't necessarily normal for everyone else around them. Oh my God. And I feel like this makes so much sense for you, because you didn't have like there was a path, but your life didn't necessarily go down that path. It was a completely different one. And so I think that makes sense why your faith, A, is so strong, but also B, why you're such an entrepreneur. Because you were hustling from like a young age, like one job to another. Like, it just makes sense. Like, I completely forgot about that part of your story, because your life really does testify of the goodness of God, truly.
Wow. So thank you so much.
Of course.
Genuinely, like, it's true. Good that we look back on this, because even me talking about it, I'm like, wow, yeah, he did bring me.
He's faithful
so much. Like,
girl. Ooh, okay, period. And honestly, I think the idea of a college degree, this could be taboo to say, but it's not. Like, I think back in the day when our parents were doing that, it's like their jobs were just so cookie cutter, you know? And nowadays it's like there's so many new ways to like make hundreds of thousands of dollars that people don't necessarily need a college degree anymore.
Yes.
So anyway, I just want to say, like, I really admire you for even admitting that to the world, because I think that's like truly such a beautiful.
I did do that, didn't I?
No, I love it.
I'm glad I did, because
I love it.
I mean, it's part of my story.
I'm so glad you did. So, yeah. No, I love that you did. Okay, friend. Well, thank you for sharing a little bit about yourself. And as you know, this whole season, it's all focused on the love of God and how God waits for us and how we're also waiting for him to return. So can you just talk me through, let's go back through again, since we're already on the topic of your testimony, can you maybe give me some pinpoints of when you felt the tangible love of God reflected in your life? Or even like the earliest memory you maybe have of it, you know? I know, let's reflect.
That's a beautiful question. Yeah. Okay. Let me go back to the earliest moment.
Okay. Yeah.
I would say I was maybe 7 years old. My little...
Stop. So cute.
This is such a random story, but I just remember, I journal about it. I remember it to this day. So I'm just going to say it. And if it's weird, just forget I said it. Okay. But we had just moved into a house in Boston because we were living in an apartment, me and my brother and my parents. And it was my 7th birthday, and we had just moved into my house, and I had my room for the first time, and it was a beautiful room. It was overlooking my backyard, and I just remember going to bed that night, but then waking up on a Sunday morning, and it was like my whole room was filled with the sun. There was a little blue jay, I kid you not, on my windowsill, outlooking the green like tree. Oh my gosh. Wow. And like I woke up and I was like, this is my room. This is where I am. And like, it was just like, everything was like, and then I smell my dad. He's the cook in our family. He's cooking before church. He likes to cook barbecue chicken. So he was cooking, the smell of that, and like just music in the kitchen and stuff like that. Wow. Everything I can hear from my room. So I remember waking up and feeling like, wow, like God, you granted us not only a house, but a home. And like, I don't know. I just never experienced that with my first room and my first bed, like sleeping in my own bed for the first time. Like that was just all of the new that I felt, and God was there. So,
oh my gosh, stop it. That's precious. Yeah. Literally imagining 7-year-old you, it like makes me want to cry. Like so pure and innocent.
If I go there.
Well, actually that leads me to a question that wasn't even in my notes, but I'm curious to know, is there something in your life now where every time you see it, you feel like that's God's sign to you about his love or faithfulness?
Yes, that's such a good question.
Okay, let me hear it.
Okay, it's a butterfly.
Okay, wait, mine is too.
Yours is a butterfly?
Mine is a butterfly.
Okay, friend, what's your story?
Okay, honestly, I don't remember. Okay. And I wish I could. Okay. This is so funny. But somebody gave me a mug. Shout out to Kia. She gave me a mug when I first moved into my apartment, and it had a butterfly on it. And I remembered butterflies are important to me. And I can't tell you why, but every time I've seen a butterfly, it's just been like a big thing. But what's yours? Do you have a specific
mine
story?
Is a little bit similar to yours. Okay. I can't pinpoint initially. Okay. But the reminder was a butterfly because it was always important to me as a child. I just didn't remember it. Like my whole room was at one point themed butterflies. I had like stickers on the wall, everything. So it was actually when I moved here. It was an interesting situation that was a last minute thing. So I needed to find a place ASAP. And it looked impossible in always, like in every single way, right? And something happened and the apartment that I was going to get got given away, and the lady was like, well, just come back and just see if there's anything else you'd want. The price changed, everything changed, and I'm like, God, how? Like it was already impossible. Like so I was like, you know what, let me just come and look. I'm like, I know there's nothing because I saw that on the listing there's nothing, and so at least nothing in my range, you know. And so I came at night because that's when she told me. And I couldn't go inside. It was night. So I was just peeking through windows, and I was like, oh, God, if this is it, like this would just be, I just need a place. I just need a place to be, And so I got back in my car and I just like laid my head on the steering wheel. And then when I like laid my head back up, a little butterfly, literally, my windshield is huge, right? It landed right in front of me. I don't know. I was like, oh my God, Lord. And then I got the apartment by the grace of God through so many like many miracles. And then even later after I moved in, I had a friend who lived in the same complex, and I was leaving her apartment and there was this framed butterfly, and that was just confirmation of like me leaving. I'm like, wow, God, yeah, you did this. Like now I'm here. I can visit my friend. I have my own place. So yeah, I don't know. That was just my reminder.
Oh my gosh, you're so cute. I love that. I love that story. Wow. That's beautiful. I wish I could remember mine.
You'll have another one to like reference. Because I don't remember my initial one. But I just this one happened.
Okay, yeah, maybe
and
that's
it's here. Now we couldn't even be here.
Wow.
AKA the studio.
AKA the studio. Yeah. I know. If you guys watched the last episode, you guys understand. We're in a new, and if you're watching the YouTube, we're in a new setup. This is actually Ebony's what would you call it, like amenity office
Yeah,
area,
yes.
which is stunning. But we'll get the
Oh God,
the podcast studio up and running soon.
very soon.
Okay, yes. What is something that God right now is teaching you about his love in your life?
Okay.
Essentially.
This is a good question because
Okay.
he's teaching me so much right now
Okay.
about love specifically. But I think the main thing right now would be doing something or not doing something to stay in his will or to miss what he could have for us. I'm like, is that biblical fully? Because I only want to do things for the love that I know he has for me, you know, and then out of that, my overwhelming love for him, and then that be my motivation, you know, like I don't want to miss something, or like I just don't want to disappoint him. Like that for me has been my heart posture for the past few months. And so I'm like, is that fully accurate? I feel like it's not wrong, but it's incomplete. So
Okay.
that's what he's been showing me, is that like, yes, you know, like as a believer, there are things that we know to do, know to not do, things like that. But when it comes to like his love, like that, there's no disappointing. It's just correction and turning, and that's it, you know, and growing with me, walking with me. But it's like, you know, the whole, but I don't want you to disappoint, you know?
Yes. So good. And this is interesting because it reminds me of someone, I don't remember who said this to me, but they said, when someone disappoints you, it's because they didn't meet your expectation essentially. And you could never like let God down because he's like, his expectation isn't of you. Like every time that you pray for forgiveness, it's like, he doesn't see your sin. He sees the blood of his son. And so I think that's also something that could be helpful to remember in moments like that, where it's like, oh, gosh, but I get it. I'm the exact same way. Cause I like, it's just like the personality, I think. Like
It might be. We're very similar.
yeah, we are. And I've just always been like a goody two shoes, like when I was in school, and just like the idea of ever like getting detention or like being in trouble was so nerve wracking for me. Like that was a big fear. So that it could be coming from that too. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so we're speaking a lot about like the love of God and how we see his love through waiting. So can you say if there's ever been a moment, or maybe specifically right now, or it could be been some time in your past, but how has he shown his love to you specifically through waiting?
Wow. Okay. That is another good question. The one thing that comes to mind right now is what I'm actually in right now, that I'm like, do I want to say it? Do I want? Because I'm in the middle of it. I don't know how the outcome is going to be, but I will say, this is also a moment where he is showing his kindness. So there is like, when it comes to relationships, an ideal that I would like. There's a person that I would like, but we're in this season of waiting, right? And so in this waiting, we don't know what the end result will be, but I think this is his kindness for me, for him, for what we have, what God has for us in the future. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I think right now is an example of a kindness that he's making me wait. He's calling me to wait. And when I say wait, I mean like not being in a relationship with this person, right? So if that at the end of the waiting, it's like, okay, that wasn't my person. Cool. I just saved, you know, some heartache. Still gonna have a heartache, but you know, it could be worse. But then at the end of this waiting, if it is, like, how cool would that be? Because then it would be time, you know, to move into a relationship. So I will say that super in the middle of it right now. So check back.
I was gonna say, I mean, thank you for sharing that, because I know it's not ever comfortable to talk about things when you're like in it, because like you said, you just don't know how it's gonna end. And I think maybe a lot of that could be our human just like fear of like, okay, I don't want to speak about it because then like, what if it doesn't go the way I think it's going to go, and like shame and whatever. But that a lot of times, I remember a conversation I had with my mom before I even moved to Atlanta, and I was telling her about this job opportunity I really wanted to go for, and I applied for it, but I was like so afraid, like I didn't want to tell anyone about it, but I was like, Mom, you're such a prayerful woman, like I would love your prayer. And my mom was like, Jerry, what a disappointment truly to like you're missing out on an opportunity to have faith and to also encourage other people's faith because you're afraid. Like if it doesn't go well, then like that's not going to shock God, but like it's going to test your faith, you know, and it's going to stretch your faith. So anyway, just thank you for saying that. I know.
No, genuinely.
She stays reading me for real. Shout out to mom.
That's what moms do, honestly.
True. She knows me so well, but
I love that.
So can you talk about maybe, sorry, I know we're like so over time already, but I want to talk about the whole point of waiting. Like, what do you feel like, and you could speak about yourself, you could speak just in general, but what do you think is being produced in those moments? Yeah. And why do you think it's so important?
Wow. So as we learn, right, waiting is so crucial to not only prepare us for what he wants to give us or what we're wanting to walk in, right? But it prunes us. It literally stretches us. It gives us like tougher skin, for lack of better words. Everything. It teaches us how to wait. Like sometimes the thing is not even, you can't have it. The whole point was to teach you how to even wait, you know? So like, sometimes it's not even a dramatic, you got to grow, you have to do this. No, it's just like, let me see how you wait. Wow. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I just want to pass all the tests. No, I'm kidding. That's the old me. No, we're not working for the love. But truly, like, there's so many things in the waiting that if we really could grasp, and we, like me too, could grasp everything that God is doing in the midst, during, we would be like, wow, I'm so glad that we waited. I'm so glad it took me however many years to get this car. So yeah, it's all the above. Pruning, like suffering, learning, growing, all of the things.
It's so funny. I think waiting is so difficult for our specific generation because we're in such a like microwave time where it's like everything's quick. TikTok, 7-second videos. Like we're at a point where people are now, I don't know if you've seen this, but you have to hold down the right side to speed it up because
there's no way.
No, I'm serious. And so it could be like a 30-second video, but people still like hold it down because it goes 2 times faster. So anyway, we're just in a very, I mean, that's just our generation. Like everyone's trying to like get things quick. And I mean, that's why YouTube kind of faded out for a while because it just, the videos were too long. Yes. And it's like, why did this, anyway. So I think that's why waiting is so difficult for our generation because things come so easy. Yes. But that's what's so interesting is that the things that do come easy, a lot of times they either don't stick, like they don't stick and it's quick for them to leave just as much as they came in. Yeah. And also like, it doesn't feel as rewarding. Like the things that you like wait for and you're like really grinding for, or you're like being disciplined about, like even like think about practically in the world, like when you're going to the gym every single day, when you're being like consistent and disciplined, like, I don't know. I just think that's more rewarding than like, which like no shade to anyone who is obviously doing anything to like love your body. Yeah, I respect it. But like, I think that would just feel more rewarding than like one day waking up and not having the body that you had the day before. So 100%. Anyway,
it's a quality thing
for sure.
Like someone said, I don't know exactly how they said it, but usually the things worth waiting for yield a better quality of whatever that is. Right? Like
exactly.
Relationships.
Exactly.
Or your fitness journey. Like
right.
You're going to, by the end of it, you are going to be more healthy than the person that woke up and decided to have surgery. Again, we love everyone. Right. That does both. Yes. I'm just saying like it's longevity, it's quality, it's all of these things.
No, 1,000%. And like when somebody gives you a product and they say, yep, this hasn't been tested before, never yet released, but like we want you to try it, you'd be so terrified that it didn't go through its process. Yes. And so I think that's kind of what I think about when it comes to waiting. Like I don't want to be a premature work of art, you know, like I don't want to get into a relationship and be like, man, I wish I did my singleness better. So you know what I mean? Because there's just no going back. So
you said it. It's a process.
It's a process. Is and not just a process to move through. Like I think it's a process to grow through. Like I think a lot of times people are always looking at singleness as like just something to get by. Like I just can't wait to get to my season of dating, or I can't wait to get to my marriage or my children or whatever. And it's like I always hear people say like you just you're going to miss your single years. Not in a sense of like, maybe you want to go back, but there are moments of just like, I wish I did it better, you know, and I just don't want to feel that way. So anyway,
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree, friend.
Just going back to what you said about quality, because that's really what it's about. Anyway. Okay. Let's wrap this up. Oh,
sorry.
No, it's okay.
I'm here.
Good. Let's wrap this up. Can you tell us, to the audience, what is one piece of advice that you would give? It could be relating to the topic. It could not. Just whatever's on your heart. Let the Holy Spirit rip. What's your one piece of advice for the audience?
Okay. One piece of advice that I would really encourage, as I try to do the same, is to really lean in to what God is telling you to do and obey. Like, listening is one thing, but obeying is another. Whole other thing. And today, and together today. Yeah. Together, truly, it's unmatched. And I truly, well, two things, actually. The fear of the Lord. Okay. Please hear me when I say, okay, you can do everything. You can love the Lord. You can think he's your best friend. You can read your word. You can know your word. But if you don't have the fear of the Lord in you, if you don't reverence him, if you don't believe that if you don't understand, he's a holy, matchless God, and not a God that's there to strike you down. Right. No, he's a loving God, but he's also so righteous. So when he tells you to do something, we better do it. Okay. When he shows us a way to go, we better go that way. Yeah. And not because, he'll strike us if we don't, but because we know who he is, right? And we believe it. If we know the creator of the universe said to do a thing, if I truly believe it, why wouldn't I do the thing he said to do, you know? So I think all of those things go together. The fearing the Lord truly will lead you to listen and obey together, because you can hear him and be like, but fearing him will lead you to listen and obey because you believe who he actually is. So that's that's what I'm learning. That's what I would like to share.
Just a well of wisdom, which is also why I'm just so grateful. Not only is she multi-talented in the technology producing space, but she's also just an incredible person. Her heart, you'll see so much of her and D&D, and I'm so excited for y'all to get to continue to know her. But Ebony, thank you for being on and behind camera as well. And we look forward to seeing you guys next week. Thank you guys for tuning in. Yay!